Pace explains, Pace explains, out of her mouth and into your brains.
Hi, I'm Pace, and today I'm going to explain why relationships don't exist. You see, there's this myth that a relationship is something that actually exists outside of people. So it's like if there are two people, there's some line, some bond that's the relationship, and it's something that you can point at and identify and talk about. This is bullshit. There's no such thing as relationships. A relationship is actually made up of two arrows. It's not a line at all. You've got one person who's got an arrow pointing toward the other one. This is, my thoughts and feelings about you. And then you've got the other person that's got an arrow pointing back at me. That is your thoughts and feelings about me. These two things can be completely unrelated. And who knows what they actually are? It's not like there's this actual line between us that we can look at and say, look, this line is red. An even more accurate picture of what a relationship really is that the arrows don't exist either. They're in your head. I've got my own thoughts and opinions about our relationship, and you've got your own thoughts and opinions about our relationship. But the relationship that we have the thoughts and opinions about isn't a thing. It is solely based up of those thoughts and feelings. So, this seems like a kind of a dire statement. Relationships don't exist. Oh crap, what are we going to do? Well, we wouldn't have written a book about communication and relationships if we didn't think that there was something useful to do. And in fact, it's very related, because what happens is that people make the usual error and they think that other people feel the same way that they do. And so if I really like you and I think you're great, I may make the usual error and think that you feel the same way about me. This often happens with, unrequited love. But when it's unrequited, it means you made the usual error. So what we can do, as you may have guessed, is communicate. We can talk about our thoughts and feelings and opinions and listen to what the other person feels about the relationship. And communication isn't perfect. This nice blue curvy thing we have in our heads might come across as purple and a little angly, and this nice swoopy green thing that we've got in our head might come off as a little jaggedy and teal, but at least we've got a chance. If we assume, then we've got no idea. We're just completely making shit up. But if we communicate, we can at least come to a closer understanding of what's actually going on in each other's heads. You do not know what that relationship is really like unless you ask, unless you listen, unless you pay attention, and unless you communicate. So you may be making assumptions. You may feel like someone doesn't like you, but really they do. You may feel like someone does like you, but really they don't like you quite as much as you think. And you won't know unless you communicate. This has been Pace Explains Why Relationships Don't Exist and What We Can Do About It. What would you like me to explain next time?
Pace explains, out of her mouth and into your brains.